so happy to come in, ground in with you on this episode 53, where we are diving deep. Did not want to miss this episode because we are diving deep into the dance of Mercury, Saturn, the Sun, all in the sign of Pisces, all occurring now into tomorrow, and then weaning off after that. It is a big couple of days. It's a big week here on Twitchy Tuesday. So, Mercury and Saturn are getting up close and personal in a Cazimi with the Sun. We'll talk about that. Plus, they are going to be conjuncting each other. We'll talk about that. I've got lots of energy with the tarot. I have a couple of the celestial tarot and the cosmic tarot to really ground in on the astrology of it, the imagery of it. And that's just the beginning. We're also going to be talking about the cosmic currents that are going to be coming up in March. Plus, I added in Mercury and Aries because I can. So, yay, here we are. It's an episode filled with insights, filled with wisdom, filled with maybe a fun twitchy tip of the week or two. So, make sure to stay tuned all the way through. We are going to be talking about it all here today. Starting off, as always, though, we are going to be cleaning out the broom closet. So, before we get through where we're going to go, because we're going to talk about this Mercury Cazimi, this Mercury Saturn Sun thing right away. I just wanted to showcase the cards that we have present today that are grounding us in on the table. We have the card of Pisces, which is aligned with the moon. Again, this is from the Celestial Tarot. You can find all of that in the description box afterwards, where you can get links to that. But we've got Pisces kind of leading this charge, leading this energy today for us. And then coming out first, we have Mercury, which aligns in this deck with the Magician, the Sun, of course, the Sun, and then Saturn, the World. So these are the cards that are going to ground us in today. Anytime that we pull some tarot, as I'm talking about the astrology, they're going to align into one of these cards. These are our foundation for everything that we're going to be discussing. So cleaning out the broom closet. Today, Mars in Aquarius squares Jupiter in Taurus, 10 degrees, 52 minutes. The 28th is the big day. Tomorrow, Mercury Cazimi, 9 degrees, 15 arc minutes, is when Mercury and the Sun, they're going to be doing this dance. Mercury's going to be all, and then come away from the Sun. Then Mercury and Saturn will come together. Then Saturn and the Sun will come together, and bless actually will be more like this: bless Saturn, and off it goes. So we've got 9 degrees 15 minutes for the Mercury Cazimi, 9 degrees 45 arc minutes for the Mercury and Saturn conjunction, and then the Saturn Cazimi at 9 degrees 47 minutes. So this is all happening in the 9 to 10 degree range. If you follow my Sabian explorations, you know that that is Pisces 10. Already have some videos up for that if you want to check them out afterwards. That kind of gives you a little more insight into the Sabian symbol and how that all aligns. Then tomorrow, Mercury in Pisces will sextile Jupiter in Taurus, 11 degrees, 13 minutes. Venus in Aquarius will sextile the North Node in Aries at 16 degrees flat. Followed by on the 1st of March, we have the Sun in Pisces sextiling Jupiter in Taurus at 11 degrees, 24 minutes. Ooh, 8 of Wands. This totally, I don't know why, but when this dropped, it dropped upside down. I'm like, is it Freddie Mercury? Like, what is happening here? The 8 of Wands. Look at this like high kick for the first, kicking off March in just grand style, grand energy. Speaking on, so this is the Sun in Pisces sextiling Jupiter. Jupiter has a lot to say in this Mercury, Sun, Saturn. Maybe not so much to say, maybe just a yes to say in this Mercury, Sun, Saturn conversation. So we'll talk about that. Venus in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, 17 degrees, 16 arc minutes. Then Mercury in Pisces will oppose Juno retrograde in Virgo, 14 degrees, 7 arc minutes. So that's kind of all the energy again, kicking off March with a bang. On the 2nd, no direct aspects. Get a little bit of day of integration, a little bit of day of kick ass into March. And then on the 3rd, Venus in Aquarius will square Uranus in Taurus, 19 degrees, 39 minutes. Another kick ass thing right there. And the Sun in Pisces will oppose Juno retrograde in Virgo at 13 degrees, 39 minutes. We round out the week, ending the week on 3-4. Mercury in Pisces will sextile Uranus in Taurus, 19 degrees, 42 minutes. And Mars in Aquarius will sextile the North Node in Aries at 16 degrees, 2 minutes. So we have this kind of dynamic end to February. Dynamic end to February. I mean, look at this Pisces card. This is truly where we want to be. We want to be in this moon. We want to be in this la di da. We want to be like in the dissolving of things. But there's too much energy kind of all all flying around. There's just too much going on right now where it's really interesting the messages that are coming in because it's don't dissolve into being unconscious, not being a conscious participant, but you don't need to actually do all the things that you think you need to do. We're going to be getting into March. March, we're going to see a lot less aspects being direct. March, we're going to see a lot less of the intensity of some of these transits, getting into new signs, aspecting each other, very kind of like potent astrology. March has some things which we'll go over, but it's not as intense, and we're just ending February on a bang. We're ending February on a bang. So, let's get into February 28th. Let's get into tomorrow. So, I thought about this and this is where my brain went as I was kind of getting into the energy of today, and what I wanted to talk about was like, man, this is my brain speaking, by the way. It's like, man, why didn't you talk about this Cazimi last week, or give some preparation time and all of this? Like, hello, like this is literally happening as we speak and going into tomorrow. And what I ended up kind of like thinking through as I was writing out everything is that's exactly the way that it needed to be. It needed to be a kick in the ass. It needs to be a kick in the face. This isn't like there are going to be points in time where you don't get a reach ahead. You don't get the information ahead of time. You have to pivot. It's why I'm a huge fan. My husband did it first in a cheers, and I've just kind of incorporated it into my prayers. I pray for strong ankles so I can pivot quickly. That's what we need in life. We need to be able to pivot quickly, because we don't always know all things ahead of time. So, this conversation, if this is when you're hearing it, is exactly when you're needing to hear it. It's part of the evolution and everything. And again, that doesn't stop our brains from going, but why? However, it's through that process, being a conscious participant in your journey, that you get to have these sorts of conversations. I got to have this conversation with myself of, no, this is the exact moment that we should be preparing for this, because embrace it all. Own it all. Own every single one here. Own this half split, sir. Own this like kick ass movement, sir. Own that journey. Own what this beautiful world and Saturn is here to show you. Own what alchemy the magician can provide to you as Mercury does his thing. Own what the sun is illuminating, what the sun is showing, how it's being presented. Own the deep waters of your psyche, bringing into consciousness things that might be unconscious. Own every single piece of it. So, let us go. I'm actually going to switch. Where does, oh, there's my mouse. Going to switch screens because I want to animate the chart and show you this is part of my growth. I want to share more charts. I want to kind of walk through charts a little bit more, but we are going to look at this Mercury Saturn. We're going to animate it so that way you can see as time moves on how this is really going to look. Let's do this by hour. So this is in Central Time. Um, on the 28th, the Mercury Cazimi goes first. So this is the chart for the Mercury Cazimi. It starts at 2:42 a.m. Central Time. And you can see down here is where we have this Cazimi. We have Mercury and the Sun, 9 degrees, 14 arc minutes. They'll be together 14 arc minutes, 15 arc minutes, just depending upon your location. So that comes down here in the sign of Pisces. That is going to be your first conjunction. Then if we skip ahead, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9:07 a.m. So this is actually 9:42, but you'll see what I'm talking about here. 9:07 a.m. Let's do it up here. Boom. There you go. 9:07 a.m. Central Time. You will see up in Pisces, here we grow again. You have the Mercury and Saturn conjunction, 9 degrees, 44, 45 arc minutes. That is going to be what this looks like. So you see kind of the sun a little bit lagging behind as Mercury pulls forward, comes out of the beams of the sun. I mean, Mercury, doing one of these. He's just Phoenix rising out of there. And then give it a few more hours. We're going to head over to 3:25 p.m. And this is where you are going to see the Saturn Cazimi, the Saturn and Sun being conjunct up here in Pisces, 9 degrees, 46 arc minutes, 47 arc minutes. So that is how tomorrow the energy is going to be expanding and then contracting, moving away, getting close, getting intimate, and then pulling. This is what is called an inferior conjunction. Mercury and Saturn are aligning perfectly. So here's, if I'm Earth, here's Mercury and Saturn are aligning perfectly between the sun and the Earth. And this is what you get. You get this amazing moment in astrology in the sign of Pisces, by the way, which we love, to where we get this really detailed conversation. So I'm actually going to put it back to the 2:42 a.m. chart so that way, where am I at here? So that way we can see it and it's all kind of like spread out because we have other conversations that are happening at this exact same time that I want to highlight in here. So, couple of different places that I want to highlight. We do have the energy of Pisces present. In this deck, Pisces aligns with the moon. So again, this is the celestial tarot. We have Pisces here, the moon as the major arcana, bringing in this beautiful imagery. So where's the moon during all of this? Where's the moon during this aspect? And the moon can be found up here in the sign of Libra. So the moon will be at 20 degrees, 49 minutes of Libra. And during this entire day is going to cover those last decan, like decan and a half of Libra. So the moon's finalizing something, whatever conversations it's already been having in Libra, it's moving through that and truly becoming the observer of this experience that's happening. Again, another reason why we're here today talking about it versus last week. There's this need to dive in, having this moment of don't dissolve, don't completely be unconscious, be present and be conscious, but be the observer of the actions. Pull yourself back a little bit, bring some of that balance to what you are seeing and what you are experiencing. Then we have also at this same time, you'll see right here, this sextile. So this is that blue line to our friend Jupiter, which is over here in the sign of Taurus at 11 degrees 2 arc minutes. And this sextile is supportive. Jupiter is here providing support in all of this conversation. However, he is also in this exact square with Mars, which our friend Mars is over here at 11 degrees 38 minutes of Aquarius. They are both at 11 degrees. This is an exact square. Boom, in your face. Not to the arc minute, but we are in the same degree. This is the prominent energy for Jupiter. This is where his attention is. So while Jupiter is providing this support in this sextile to all of the conversations that are happening with Mercury, the Sun, and Saturn, his true focus, where he is, where his attention is on Mars and the conversation that they're having. So, it kind of reminds me of the conversation we had with the Virgo full moon, which, yes, you've got Jupiter here to support you. Yes, the moon is here. Yes, it's kind of, but they're observers of everything. And in the Virgo full moon, we talked a lot about how this is a you thing. You have to go through this. This Eight of Wands, you only see one person in here. Only one person is kicking ass in this card. You have to go through this. You have to go through the heart of the sun. You have to interpret how Mercury and the sun are talking to each other. You have to interpret how Mercury and Saturn are working with each other. You have to interpret how Saturn and the sun are going to be working with each other, how these messages are coming through for you. This is for your interpretation and your interpretation only. This is something that is not, it could bring, given that the moon is in Libra, it could bring balance, given the fact that Jupiter is in Taurus. It could be bringing things that are going to make others, that are going to make your partnerships, relationships, going to make the people that you surround yourself with, your community and all of that. It could bring additional things to them, but it all starts from you and your conversations and how this is resonating for you at this moment. So, some of the things that I wrote down again, where is this at in your natal chart? Where is this 9 degrees of Pisces in your natal chart? What house does that align with? It's a wonderful place to start about maybe where some of the themes could be showing up for you. Um, some of the other areas that you could look into is this can be very cleansing. So you could feel very purified. You could feel the need to cleanse things in your space. You could feel the need to clean up or take like a spiritual bath or just purify in some way. You could have a deep resonance, a very deep knowing, like um there's no bullshit with what you know. You hear it so clearly that, like, you are not surprised when what you heard comes true. Like, just this deep resonance and awareness of something. You could be letting go of limitations. This could be another area that could be triggered where you're like, you know what? I didn't think I could do that. I'm no longer in that same space. I know I can do this. You could be figuring out how to get the train, the emperor coming out. He was reversed, and they're telling me that they want him reversed. So, emperor reversed, you could be getting the train on the right tracks. This emperor, the thing that you're working towards, look at all of this empireship, all of the foundational things that you're looking to build, all of the Turian things you're looking to build, all of the harvests that you're looking to bring in, all of the lifelong and long-term commitments you're looking towards. The train's not on the right tracks. Let's get it on the right tracks. Maybe some things need to be adjusted. Maybe there's some planning that needs to occur. You could be in multiple states of discovery, discovering how to let go of your limitations, discovering an awareness that you weren't aware, some sort of thing that needs to be done that you had no awareness of before. How to get the train on the right tracks, making the necessary adjustments. And what this is really saying, I want to get one more card because I'm feeling the other card popping. Here we go. Four of Wands. And this one, they do want up. All right. So you have the Eight, the Emperor reversed, and the Four of Wands. So, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want this? How bad do you want the kick ass? How bad do you want to turn this emperor right side up? How bad do you want to dance off into the sunset, build your foundation, have everything that you want? How bad do you want it? If something is real, if something is serious, if something is concrete, if it is your dream, if these cards, if this is everything that you are asking Mercury, the Sun, and Saturn for, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Are you willing? Are you willing to push through? Four of Wands. Are you willing to do what it takes to create the perfect pirouette? Are you willing to push through the slog of wanting to dissolve, Pisces? The slog of not being a conscious participant, the slog of I can put that off for another day. It's okay if the train keeps going down the wrong track. Are you willing to listen and to take appropriate action? Be kick ass when you need to be kick ass, but are you also willing? Why I love that these two are on opposite sides. Whoa, hello. Ancestors calling the card down. Like, listen to this one. I love that these two are on the opposite sides. Are you also willing to know when action is needed and to know when it is time to stand still? That yes, action is needed, but timely action is even more important. Constructive action is even more important. Mercury, after this, is going to head on his merry way through Pisces, meet up with Neptune, and get into Aries. We are going to talk about that. Mercury in Aries is a very different energy. So when Mercury gets into Aries and gets that level of energy to it, what happens here? It's not about being all willy-nilly out there. That is not what Saturn and this world is trying to teach you. The willy-nilliness. I can go and get whatever I want whenever I want it. I don't have to put any planning, preparation. I can do it while we get what we want. That is true. There are parameters within that. There are things, again, do you want for the short term? Do you want for the long term? What type of wants are we talking about here? And again, it's being willing to even ask for exactly what you want. And remember how manifestation occurs is not in this area of, okay, I'm going to ask for this and then I'm going to ignore all the signs on Saturn, the work I need to do to achieve it. Still got to do some work. Still got to go buy the lottery ticket. Still have to go put things into place. And you need to be willing also and open, which is where you can see again with this moon swimming in the ocean, allowing for space for the universe to give you even more. There are riches that you don't even know to ask for yet, but they know, the universe knows, is in your ability to conjure, your ability to alchemize. Coming back to Mercury, your ability to alchemize. the Magician. So leave room for how it comes out. Leave room for the sun to cleanse and purify and create the space needed. Leave room for you to embody and step into the person that can ask for exactly what you want, can be open and willing to adjust what that is, be willing to hold a bigger container than the one that you hold now. Today, if you take stock of where you're at today, you've got some things going on. Like the emperor still showed up. Even though it's upside down, it still showed up. You've got foundations here. You've got things that you've already achieved. You've already been doing some of these things. Okay, awesome. Party. Yes, I got here. So what's next? What's that next level? What's the level up after that? What's the kick ass after that? What's the new standard? These are the conversations that can be coming out with Mercury, Sun, and Saturn illuminating, purifying the mind, allowing you to see through the Piscean deep waters, the slog, about what we need to do now for the rest of the year, what we need to do once Aries season comes in and energizes us for the zodiac new year and propels us forward into a whole new adventure. What does that adventure look like? And because Jupiter is in the mix and the other energies are present, you actually get the resources. Like, that's the other thing. Emperor, even reversed, gets the resources. The resources are coming in. The things you need are coming in. Jupiter has no problem granting that. You absolutely have the ability to get what you are requesting right now. However, Jupiter is distracted. Jupiter's got this conversation with Mars. So, what Jupiter is going to do, here you come up to Jupiter and go, hey, Jupiter, yo, I need this. And Jupiter is going to go, yeah, sure, no problem. Go ahead, take it, whatever, do it. Off you go. Because it's not paying attention. He's not going to counsel you. He doesn't have the time, capacity, energy right now to counsel you. He's counseling Mars right now. So, he's just going to give. You've got to get very, very, very clear on what you are asking for. What do you want? What do you need? And Jupiter can help make that happen. But again, he's not going to be in a counseling mood. He's just going to say, okay, there you go. Have fun. And if you find yourself in the midst of this energy, in this kick ass energy, trying to do a perfect pirouette, fuck what is happening to me, my whole head is upside down. If you find yourself in the midst of needing to make decisions, or you got some really stark information that came to you, it is 100% okay as a conscious participant in your journey to take time to remove yourself and think about it. To say, you know what? Yep, I want to do all of this. This sounds good. This sounds like something that we can do, but I need to think about it. You do not have to commit tomorrow. In fact, if we know anything about Saturn, Saturn may be very happy that you're not committing tomorrow. You can set a boundary. You can set a boundary to not be so impulsive, to not take all of this energy and only focus here and not focus here. You can set that boundary with yourself and with others. You can honor your commitments that you have made. These are all permissions that you have. Again, what did I just say? Letting go of limitations. You are not limited to answering everything tomorrow. You have permission. You can honor the commitments you set for yourself. You know what? I would really like, I would, this sounds like something, you get a phone call. This sounds like something great. Oh my God, I can do this for this much money. This sounds like an amazing idea. Oh, hold on. Saturn's telling me, Mercury is giving me the message that I still need to accomplish these three commitments that I set for myself before I can put anything additional on my plate. So let me take a moment to think about it. Let me see if I can get those commitments completed. I'll get back with you. How long do I have? Typically, most things are not a no, they're a not now. Maybe not in this lifetime. So you have permission to, as you go through that energy, as you're getting this kind of stark realness, especially if you're a really work with Saturn really well and you've got you are a Saturn ruled individual, this may be hitting this Cazimi may be that moment, especially if you're not a native Saturn in Pisces, you've got a strong Saturn placement in your natal chart. This may be what you need, and all of a sudden it comes in and you want to act on it. Again, the moon is here grounding us. Pisces is grounding us, saying, watch the impulsivity, temper. It doesn't all have to be done today. In fact, we've got to get into March. We've got a little bit. We've got to go through March. We can't skip the integration of Pisces. We got to go through it. So that's the Mercury, Saturn, Sun meetup. That's what I had down. Let's head over to Mercury and Aries. We'll end with a nice March overview and then get into the twitchy tip of the week. So we've still got the cards out here. I'm going to leave them all as we begin to talk about Mercury in Aries. And again, Mercury's moving fast. Like Mercury is going to get into Aries, what? I think on the 11th. Hold on, consulting the honeycomb. March 9th. I mean, that is like, yes, it's a few days away, but he's going to be there quickly. So he's going to fly, like swim through Pisces, like Michael Phelps it through Pisces, and then come into Aries. And whatever this conversation, this Four of Wands, Emperor reversed, Eight of Wands conversation is happening, he's going to get into Aries and be like, let's effing go. Mercury in Aries is enthusiasm boundless. Let's do the things. Princess of Wands coming out. Let's do the things. Hot fucking diggity dog. We are ready to go. This is new birthing energy. The Princess of Wands being that maiden energy in the three-faced goddess. That is all about newness, new things, new energy, new impulses, new abilities to like bring forth things, ideas, information, conversations, whatever it is. Typically, Mercury and Aries natives are very witty. They can be very impulsive. They're quick with the comebacks. They also can be triggered very easily, especially when things get delayed. Mercury and Aries do not like delays. Don't delay me. The devil. Don't tie me down. Don't try to make it more difficult than it needs to be. Don't get me with the fluff. Don't get me with the bull. I'll see right through that. Also, the devil is totally aligning for me with the impulsivity as well. This is a great card. I mean, just the dark side of Mercury and Aries, right? So typically what you look for in a natal chart when natives have a Mercury and Aries, when they are Mercury and Aries natives, excuse me, is you look typically towards Taurus and Pisces. Shocking that Pisces continues to come up. We look for Taurus and Pisces because those two signs, especially if they're placed well, especially if they have really strong planets or points, luminaries in there, they can help Mercury and Aries truly slow down and be more thoughtful. They can kind of give him a little bit of that tempering. The Princess of Wands, slow down, be more thoughtful. There's still action here. It's not saying not to do nothing, but to be thoughtful in what actions you choose to take. Shocking, we just had this whole conversation beforehand. Um, well, here's the thing with all of that, coming back to the devil. Devil's in the details. Here's the thing with all of that. Guess what's in Taurus and Pisces right now? Guess what Mercury and Aries has to support him right now? Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. Okay. They ain't helping him slow down and be more thoughtful. That ain't happening. Two of Cups. That ain't happening. That is going to be full encouragement all the way. Do more, give more, be more, love more, do all the things. Make it exciting. Yes. Full yes. And then Pisces. Okay. Sure. As Mercury's going through Aries, we're going to have Mars. We are going to have Venus. For part of it, we're going to have the Sun. We're going to have Saturn. We're going to have Neptune. Okay. Sure. Sure. Maybe with our lovers present in Pisces, that will help Mercury slow down a little bit. Maybe. But what I really truly feel, again, King of Wands, I'm getting this card too. The Hierophant, here we go. This is why they wanted this one. King of Wands is reversed. The Hierophant is looking out. So as it lays on the deck, this Hierophant is actually looking at all the other cards before it. King of Wands being reversed. Two of Cups, the Devil, and the Princess of Wands, as we're talking through this Mercury and Aries. So we've got all this other energy that is not supporting the slowdown, not supporting the be more thoughtful. And here's where we could really get our knickers in a twist, because we are going to be called to slow down. This is why the Hierophant is here. This is why the King of Wands is reversed. We're going to be called to slow down because in Aries, this is where Mercury is going to be retrograding. Yes, you heard me. Mercury will be retrograding. We are coming up to season. We are going to start our retrograde season again. All planets direct right now. You ain't got to worry about that for a minute, but Aries will be where Mercury retrogrades. So while we don't want to slow down, while we want to have all of this energy, all of this kick ass, all of the things that we want to do, we are going to have to slow down. Knight of Wands reversed. We are going to have to be thoughtful. Hierophant. We are going to have to take our vision to the next level. Additionally, I'm pulling this with the Hierophant as well. Aries is where Chiron and the North Node are, which means every planet that goes through Aries is going to meet up with Chiron on the North Node. So now Mercury is going to be conjuncting Chiron, conjuncting the North Node, and this is also where our total solar eclipse is going to be in April, the Great Chiron eclipse. So you're going to have to slow down. You are going to have to integrate. You are going to have to pay attention to things. You are going to have to hold and become more than maybe what this energy is wanting you. You are going to have to temper. You are going to have to learn how to temper. You are going to have to learn how to not let Mars and Aries be so over impulsive that again, you just sign up for things, you do things willy nilly, you make these decisions willy nilly. not to be triggered when you are delayed. You are going to have to temper that. You are going to have to temper not piling on all the things that you are supposed to be doing that you lose yourself in the process of becoming. This isn't about dissolving you into everything else. It is about finding yourself and allowing yourself to shine and being a conscious participant in your journey. It is also harvest time. So when we think about harvest, we can't just take all of our grain that we've been harvesting, right? And when I say it's harvest time, that is aligning with the 2024 year being the year of the harvest. It is an 8 year, it is harvest season. Like this whole year is a time of harvest. So when you think about harvesting things, you don't just dump all of your grain food in your stores in a day. Like you don't just, oh, here's all my grain, we're done. And you walk away from it. You call it a day. I'm good. We don't need to do anything else anymore. There are processes. The processes are what needs to happen. This is Saturn, devil in the details. There are things that need to occur. You have to count. You have to be able to inventory things. You have to have logistics in it. There's so many different layers to harvesting that you need to be an active part and participant in. I'm sure there were times in your past where you know exactly what I'm talking about, where you did just, oh, I'm going to dump all of this in here and I'm going to call it a day. And you come back to it and you're like, that didn't go, that didn't go the way that I wanted. I didn't get out of it all the things that I wanted to get out of it. Processes can be leaned. That is the other thing to think through. Processes can be leaned. So they can be developed beyond what they are today. You can go through, you still need to go through the process and be that participant to clean up those processes. But should they be skipped? And that may be a decision. That may be a decision that through this Hierophant you come to. Through Mercury and Aries, through his retrograde, through what he's going to be doing there, you may come out with the understanding, Princess of Wands, that what truly needs to happen is the details need to be changed. Some of them can be skipped, but in the end, it becomes this perfect union of whole. It becomes this arena where this King of Wands doesn't have to be reversed anymore, doesn't have to be confused about the process forward, doesn't have to be frustrated with the things that are occurring around him. It is more of ease and flow. And I will say, I really enjoy that Mercury is going to be retrograding in Aries this year. I think, and it's in April. I think that with everything that we see upcoming, there is something very, very, very necessary about Mercury being in Aries, Mercury retrograding in Aries during this astrology, during what we are about ready to experience. And it's almost like it's really continually challenging yourself to be a conscious participant, to actually participate in what you're bringing forward in life. And if you are a conscious participant, it's like there's so much reward. There's great rewards that can be had. But it's this challenge of making sure that you are always consciously participating. So that is Mercury in Aries. Let's move to March. Still got all the cards present. Let's see what we have for our March overview. So, March, it's still just peachy. We're still in the same quarter. Yes, we have to go through March. There was a whole part of my being that was like, well, does March really exist? Like, can we just skip March? Like, does March really need to be here? Like, couldn't we just get to April and get it done with? No, we got to go through March. Don't skip the integration period. And it's just peachy. Like, March is where eclipse season starts. We get our first eclipse in Libra, which is going to be fabulous. We have the spring equinox, Ostera, the zodiac new year. It's when the sun gets into Aries. We've got this huge initiation point and energy moving forward. The Two of Pentacles, great jumping off point, great stepping stone, great ability to move forward and to like really, really put the gas on, really begin to move, really begin to. I love that this is kind of like sand because I'm getting the word like sink in to where you're going. We'll have the Neptune Cazimi. So the moons, the luminations that we have is the Pisces new moon and the Libra penumbral lunar eclipse. We will see Mercury head into Aries, Venus into Pisces, and Mars into, hold on, I think Mars into Pisces. I had Mars in Aries, and I'm like, no, that's not right. Like Mars didn't just all of a sudden skip ahead Venus. Sorry. So Mars will go into Pisces. So some notable things to watch in March. All Aries planets, points, and luminaries. Again, Mars and Venus will get there. But everything that goes through the sign of Aries has to meet up with the North Node at Chiron. Has to. It is a party. The Three of Cups. It is a party that they are having. It can be probably is going to be an emotional roller coaster. It again, conscious participant in your journey. They will all sextile Pluto and Aquarius. So every point that goes through Aries is now making a sextile to Pluto and Aquarius. So here we have a story, what, 2 months later ish, month and a half, 2 months, depending upon when they go into Aries, where how when Pluto had just gotten in to Aquarius, when all of these planets met up, and remember the sun was the one that met up right at the last degree of Capricorn and ingressed into Aquarius with Pluto. So as they've met up with Pluto and Aquarius, as they've had this conjunction conversation, now that they are sextiling in Aries and the North Node and Chiron are present, how has this story changed? And hold on, because now I've got so many questions. Because now I'm like, hold on a minute. What are we doing here? Um, yeah, I was just looking at March's transits. So we have Mercury sextiling Pluto on March 10th. When do we have the Sun sextiling Pluto March 21st? And then April will get the rest of it. So conversations have changed. How have they changed? Again, awareness, active participation. Mercury will retrograde in Aries. Again, that's not something that is occurring in March. However, it is notable. You'll want to know how Mercury goes through March and through Aries. And then both of the rulers of the eclipses, the first one that is occurring in March and the other one occurring in April, those rulers of those eclipses will be in Pisces. How does that add to the story? So this is where, again, sometimes we need a the Eight of Wands, we need a kick in the face right when things are happening. And other times we can begin, excuse me, to build and prepare. This is one of those areas. We know eclipse season is starting. We kind of know what this energy is building to, how does the fact that the rulers of the eclipses are going to be in Pisces? Hmm. As lovers, by the way, right? Come back to that Two of Cups. And even this Three of Cups with only two people in it, enjoying three cups themselves in this embrace. So, multiple things to think about as we traverse through March, but stay present in March. I know even me, that's it. They said there are no more cards, even for myself. Um, there is this want and desire, very Piscean desire to just like wash March away, go through March, be a conscious participant. All right, before we unveil this week's Twitchy tip, if you are loving the journey, love what we have to offer, consider giving us a cosmic blessing by hitting that heart, that thumbs up button, no matter where you're watching, subscribe or follow to our channel, and definitely explore some of the other content. Again, that Sabian symbol, I'm trying to do a lot more of like short videos on social media channels and on YouTube and on X. So definitely go and check out some other content if this information is interesting or you just want to know more and go even a little bit deeper. Speaking of awesome content, we have two active Sage sessions currently going right now. We have Astrovision 2024 and EF Astrology. EF Astrology launched and has two active chapters, with the other three being released over the course of this weekend and into the very beginning of March. So very excited to start that program with everybody. Astrovision is up and running as well. We completed our first Q1 live Q&A session. That is up on YouTube and will be on or is on X as well. And then our 2024 and Q1 overview videos were removed from YouTube and X. So the only way to go back and get that information is to join. And by the way, I don't know if I said this, but it is free. Astrovision is totally free to join. It's literally just signing up. There are so many cool things. You get a special tarot reading just for Astrovision community members. You have a community that you can rely on and get into and have discussions with. And also, you get downloadable free content as well. Again, all for free. Go right here, habitualsages.com. And you can follow any of the links found in my profile or in this description box that will get you to where you need to go to the Sage sessions and you can sign up. Now, let's go a little bit deeper. Twitchy tip of the week, and then we are out of here. Twitchy tip of the week. I've got two. And one's really just a statement. The other is a pondering question, because that is where we are at in our Piscean life today. So, statement: Q, Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Pisces conjunction, all of the things that we have been talking about. Nobody told you it was going to be easy. And if they did, they were wrong. So, if you can get that shit out your mind, out the way, just they were wrong. It's not easy. Nothing about this is easy. It wasn't easy growing you to become the person that you are today. Literally in womb, birthing you was not easy to do that. Trust was not easy raising you, was not easy going through your life, being now part of this world. It's not easy. It is not easy, this human experience. Worth it, not easy. So, there's that. That is the first statement. The question I want you to ponder is, think about how important water is to you. And when I say think about it, go deep. Go super deep. Like, think about water in all of its forms, in all of its capacities, what water does for you in your life, not just in this body where we need it to survive and live and go through all of that, but think about all of the ways that water supports your life, how it does things for you. Like, I don't know, bring all of your goods to you. And where this is coming from and why I want you to go really deep on this is, one, we've got this Piscean water coming in, but how phenomenal and how much water plays a active role in our life. And are we taking the time to consciously acknowledge that and be grateful for it? Like, everybody wants to talk about EMPs and all of that, for sure. That's a whole thing, right? Our trucking, for sure. But do you know what would happen if our waterways shut down? How important is water to you? Do you even know? That's the question to ponder this week as we go through. And maybe that's where the Mercury, Sun, and Saturn is going to bring some illumination. Who knows? But as we go through this week, that is the question that the Twitchy tip of the week wanted to end on. So you are welcome. All right, episode 53. We are done as we wrap up this mystical journey under the moonlight. Remember to stay tuned for more cosmic revelations. We do this every Twitchy Tuesday. Until next time, may your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my Twitchy seekers. Blessed be, and go stay twitchy. Bye.